thing I'm going to throw it. Like, wait a second. Hold up. Everyone stop. Are the Saints good?
The offense is out of control right now.
Are the Saints good? Because I'm looking at this. Touchdowns on their first 6 drives last week. Clint Kubiak has come in, and they're running that same offense, the zone offense, exploiting the numbers games up front, making every average running back looks really good. Every good running back looks great in this system for the most part. If you look over the years, like obviously it's the Denver, now it's Shanahan in San Francisco, Minnesota's running it with Kevin O'Connor, Johnson's running it, Detroit, Green Bay, the Rams. Like this system is proven and it works. And Clint Kubiak comes in and it's 47 points in the first week. What's your complaint if you're a Saints fan in the first week? We kicked 4 field goals. We didn't finish drives. They come in this week, they finish drives. What was it? 6 touchdowns on their first 6 drives of the week. And they set a franchise record by starting the season with points on 9 consecutive possessions in that 47-10 rout of Carolina. But after week 1, we're like, yeah, but Carolina sucks. Like the story was Bryce Young. Carolina's not any better. No one was talking about New Orleans. And now it's Dallas. And I get it. Dallas didn't get better. They just paid their star players more money right before the season started.
Yeah, but doing that to Cleveland's defense in week 1, which I think we all would agree Cleveland's defense is going to be one of the better defensive units if they're healthy. And we saw that, proof of that against Jacksonville. It's why I pointed it out, going like, I think that was just nice for them to feel right, because there's nothing worse than when you have all this defensive talent, but you feel like you have no shot on offense. And now statistically, people will point to the defense for going like, oh, what happened to that unit? And you're like, they gave up. Like they didn't quit as competitors, but they were just like, this is fucking pointless because we can't do anything on this side of the football. So I think Dallas putting it on that unit, like I don't think Dallas is going to be bad all of a sudden. And as New Orleans is running away early, I'm thinking, well, they have CD. I know Ferguson is out the tight end, but still, like it's the NFL. You're going to have to figure out a way to move the football without some of your guys. It's going to happen to every single team. But then it just kept getting worse. And it's Kamara like back on the scene going, like, hey, we've got this dude who, when he first showed up, you're thinking like, is this one of the most dynamic offensive weapons in the NFL? Age can always be part of that, but I don't feel like they've used him so much. Like it still feels like there's a lot of tread there.
Maybe and he wasn't used that much in college either.
Yeah, right. And maybe, because they were stacked at Tennessee. They were stacked at running back. Right. Like 4 awesome guys that you had to hand the ball off to, but maybe this is going to happen again. And Carr feels like I've already done this too much, but like I look at Mark Stoops, and Mark Stoops will have, hey, what's going on with this guy? And then he has like a nice season in Lexington. It's like, let's re-sign him. All right. And by all accounts, he's a really good coach. All right. But there's never really anything that great with Kentucky football in a stacked conference. But it's enough at the right time.
But it's the most winning that Kentucky's program's ever done. And so it's it's nice. So we're winning 9 every year.
But like Auburn can be the weirdest team ever because Auburn will bring in the new coach, want him fired, and then they beat Bama, and then he gets all this money, and then they want him fired again, and then maybe they fire him, and then bring in somebody else. And then like last year, where they lose to New Mexico, although I love their quarterback this year, Dampier. But when you look at Auburn's season, it's like we're going to be super disappointing and have some bad losses or lose to Cal in 24 on top of everything else. But we're going to almost beat Georgia and then almost beat Alabama.
Right.
Okay? But the rest of it's going to be super, super annoying. So Derek
bring
Carr,
the Titanic back now. Bring it back.
Right. No, this is the lead up. Is that Derek Carr is a bit like that. Whatever that is, where just when you think you're over them. I thought the Saints were going to be really good last year just based on the opposing quarterbacks that they were going to face. It was a dreadful roster of quarterbacks they were going to go up against. Didn't happen. But coming in this year, like maybe Derek Carr's due for one of those seasons because he's had some of these in the past.
Yeah, I've never been a Derek Carr guy. He got me in a lot of trouble when he was coming out in the draft. He played really well early on. Everyone said, I told you so. We had an awkward meet and greet at Bristol when he came to campus.
He wanted to fight Kellerman. Yeah.
He keeps receipts, and that's good.
Why I like him. He was a huge fan of SVP and Russillo, so I just started, and I didn't want to fight him.
And you're a sellout. But I played the long game with Derek Carr, and so far so good. But I'm watching him now, and I'm like, okay, new system. System's good. Like this system. Fits him. Kamara seems like he's really comfortable in the system. Makes sense. It's a running back friendly system and like the play action, get the running backs involved in the passing game. Chris Olave, 37% of targets through the first 2 games, making big plays, contested catches, great route runner. I don't know. There's a lot to be intrigued by, and honest to God, there's like always coming in the season, there's like 10 teams, whatever the number is, like 7, 10 teams where you're like, they got a legitimate chance. Then there's like 6, 7 teams, you're like, they got no chance. And then there's a bunch of teams in the middle, whatever that number is, 15 or so, 20, 17 teams, where they're like, you can break them up into maybe they got a chance to be good and show improvement and like they're promising, or they're just going to be a middling team. They're going to win 6 to 8, 9 games, somewhere in that range. We know it's going to happen. And for whatever reason, whether it's playing in the dome, maybe it's their ugly uniforms, in my opinion, they're just dreadfully boring to watch. You tell me like Saints, Panthers inside the dome is on Sunday, I'm out.
You don't like their uniforms?
I don't.
What? Come on. That's just being
and the dome, and I feel like their dome's dark on TV.
Yeah, but it's awesome in there. Here's the thing: I don't really like going to NFL games as much as college.
No,
everybody knows that. But
it's awesome in there.
When I've done the LSU Saints doubleheader,
it's the best,
right?
And you're peeling yourself off the hotel bed. You got to drive 90 minutes down the road. What highway is it? Straight shot into New Orleans. You get to the game, you're licking your wounds, but you're there, and then the crowd's going, you're excited, and like you wake up. I love doing that. That you get Baton Rouge, New Orleans weekend. Like any football fan out there, please do it. I beg of you. But I'm saying watching a 1 p.m. game of the Saints over the last 5-7 years, not the most pleasurable thing. So all I'm saying is one of my biggest takeaways is Saints. Like, wait, are they good? They might be good. So keep an eye on that. 2 other 2-0 teams that impressed me. Minnesota. They just beat San Francisco.
Yeah, I saw it.
My boy's dealing at quarterback. Admit it.
Okay, let me ask you this question because I asked it at the beginning. It's not about prospects. It's not about ceiling. But you're a GM. You need a quarterback. You can have Sam Darnold or Anthony Richardson from this day forth. Yeah. Just blow your mind.
Sam Darnold.
Look out.
I think I'm taking Sam Darnold. But he's got to be he's got to be in the system.
How unfair is that? How unfair is that to Richardson?
Very. Very unfair.
It is.
I just worry about it. And another note of Anthony Richardson, like, gosh, he's so talented. I mean, there's nothing I can say right now that's not obvious. So, but there's 13 starts in college does not translate very well in the NFL. And we still like that first interception he threw, lazy footwork. This is his 19th career start he just made this past week. Lose to Green Bay without
pros, right?
College and pro combined.
Yeah.
And so you see it.
Yeah, the physical stuff. Like it's like watching Lagway from Florida split reps.
I'm certain this is going to be clipped off. I'm certain I'm going to be wrong about this. Anthony Richardson is going to it's going to take 1 full year of starting and then coming back the next year for him to start to show consistency and all that. And how do you bet against all that talent? But I'm telling you, I know I'm seeing Sam Darnold. He never had the ceiling by any stretch of the imagination of Anthony Richardson, but he's been through the grind. He's failed in terrible places. He knows what it's like. He's on this redemption tour now. He's been coached well now the past, 2-3 years. He's been finally been coached well. He's familiar with this system. I love what he's playing with. He's not the rich guy, everything comes easy anymore. He's not that first round pick where he's plugged in and expect. Now he's the guy that everyone's counting out. And I like Sam Darnold in that situation better than, playing and trying to carry an organization that just couldn't be carried in 2 different places, in New York and Carolina.
Last thing on the NFL.
Fascinating.
Whatever you want to do.
Young quarterbacks struggling. Anthony Richardson was one of them.
Young quarterback guy this year. What about Caleb last night?
So Here, I'll give you a positive and a negative. And it was interesting when in the broadcast they were talking about, at one point they were talking about how encouraged they were by the offense and how he was handling the offense. And it was just the play before that jumped out, like how quickly he was getting everyone lined up, identifying things, setting his protection, had the running back was on the right side, moving over to the left. Like, I think mentally he's far more advanced than people think. Physically, from in the pocket, being that like drilled in reps, that's just not where he is. Here's the question I posed to myself when I was watching it last night. Is this Caleb Williams? Think about this for a second. Is this what Mahomes would have looked like if Alex Smith wasn't in Kansas City that year and they threw him in there?
Well, it's advantage Andy Reid, right, over Eberflus. So that can't be debated. No, it's an awesome question. I totally get what you're saying. I'm supposed to say yes.
Because if you ask Mahomes, and I've told you this story before, when I talked to him, I did the preseason game for the Chiefs. When I talked to him, I didn't identify the mic, but he like expanded upon it. Just like I needed last year desperately. Like thank God I got last year. Thank God that Alex Smith was here. Thank God I had time to learn and sit back. And so I just wonder, and is this going to ruin him, or is it going to make him stronger? Is he going to advance fast? Like, who knows what the progression is going to be? But it's so easy to look out there and say, "Oh gosh, he missed that screen pass." You know, like after they were praising him for how quickly he's taking everything on, and his footwork's not where it needs to be. He's so used to running around playing that style of football. He's trying to be a system quarterback and work within the pocket, which he's going to have to do to succeed. And Mahomes has transitioned to that and got better and better at that each and every year. I'm just wondering, okay, like pump the brakes. Everyone's so concerned. And the Belichick clip that I told you about 2 weeks ago or last week is going to keep re-airing. Like he's just not accurate. He's not very accurate. I don't know why everyone's so excited. Yeah, he's not right now. But when he gets more reps. You drafted
Mac Jones.
When he gets, I wasn't going to go there. When he gets more reps and he starts to, gets through his first year and has an off season to look and study his footwork and all, like, I don't think the highs can't get too high. The lows can't get too low with Caleb this year. The bottom line is, he could have sat out a year and watched behind a really good veteran, and maybe that would have helped him, but he's going to learn on the job now, and there's going to be some moments like this.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's the Mahomes thing is really good, but I think if you're going to be really good, you can get beat up for a year and still be really good. And Mahomes didn't have to get beat up. Yeah.
The things that are scarier to me are Bo Nix, 0 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. I saw this stat today, 11 of 36 for 212 yards and 4 interceptions on passes more than 5 yards down the field. 30.6% completion rate on those passes, past 5 yards. It's the lowest in the league by 6%. And it's the worst in weeks 1 and 2 in the NFL in the last 2 years. Last 10 years.
Yeah, I hope he's not on a pitch count. I mean, he's got it up almost 80 times now.
And Will Levis in Tennessee, critical errors, scary. And Bryce Young. So we got, there's Anthony Richardson, ups and downs, ton of talent. Will Levis is scary. Bo Nix is scary. Bryce Young those are scary situations right now.
All right.
To leave on a positive note.
Yeah, that'd be good. Halloween themed. We'll come back and be like, who's spooking you out the most? Heading in. Kyler Murray, a 98.3 QBR in week 2.
I didn't even get to Kyler.
That's all right. We'll do it with Dominique. Bryce Young.
Don't worry about it. We'll do it with somebody who's better at this than you.
No, we'd never say that to you.
Tell Dominique I said to please get to it.
All right. Good stuff. That's all we need.
And 4 showed up, by the way, in Arizona. I told you.
Sure did.
Might want to get him involved. Marvin Harrison Jr. Come on. That was beautiful. Arizona's sneaky good. Arizona, I was impressed, had the best loss of any team in the league in week 1.
I like that.
Against
college
Buffalo.
Football resumes.
Exactly. Let's build them.
We're trying to figure out the seeding. You're like, hey, it's a good loss. It's a good loss up there.
It's a good loss.
Thank you, Todd.
You got it, brother.